Hi, you're welcome to Success Tips. In this video today, we are going to be looking at the importance of timing to your fruitfulness and your success in life. To begin with the background of the content of this video, so many people have been deceived by others and themselves that they can just waste time, they can joke around, and they can just be careless with their dreams and their pursuit in life, such that they can delay anything that they want to be doing to any age that they prefer to do. For instance, they can prefer to just choose and then not to follow their dreams at the age of 15, 20, 30, and then they just reach the age of 40, 50, and then they just decide, okay, now I am ready to start pursuing my dreams, and then they will have little or no impact to the level of output or fruitfulness that they will gain compared to even if they have started it on time, which is a very great deception. What they mean is that if you wanted to be a musician, for instance, and then you decided not to start pursuing your dreams on time, and then you waited till you are 40, 50, and 60 before you started pursuing your dreams, the level of success you're going to be having is still going to be the same thing as though you have started pursuing your dreams of being a musician from the age of 15, 20, and 30, which is very untrue. Okay, now let's look at it this way. So many people believe that time have nothing to do with their success. The time at which they start pursuing their dreams have nothing to do with their dreams in life. The time at which they decide to start making moves towards their dreams have no impact on their destiny. I challenge you to follow this video to the end of it so that you will get to understand the importance of timing to your success and your fruitfulness in life. And then that is going to help you to make up your mind and then start pursuing your dreams the earliest you can, as that is going to be of great advantage to you. Let me start by establishing this fact. If you start pursuing your dreams at the age of 18, the level of result you are going to be getting will be very much higher than if you had started pursuing your dreams at the age of 40, 50, or anything beyond. Now we will go into the details of that so we can be able to understand what this is all about. Let's start by looking at what time is. Time is an inevitable progression into the future. It means whether you learn your skills or not, time keeps moving. Whether you go to school to study because you have intended to study or not, time keeps moving. Whether you go to your mentor and learn some things or not, time keeps moving. Whether you start your business or not, time keeps moving. Whether you start learning the music, start training your vocals or not, time keeps moving. So time cannot be stopped. Hence the definition, which goes as inevitable progression into the future. If you sit down, time keeps moving. If you're working, time keeps moving. If you're sleeping, time keeps moving. If you sit and do nothing and just look around, time keeps moving. Having established that, what are then the key elements of success? What are the key elements of fruitfulness? What are the key elements of an entire person's success in life? Your input multiplied by time is the key element of anybody's success. Think of anybody in the face of this earth. Think of any successful person that you know. Think of any businessman that you know. Think of any public figure that you know. Think of anybody that is great and then have made a great history in life. The major element of their success was their input multiplied by the time. Okay, so now the element can be the skills you're acquiring, it can be the knowledge you're trying to acquire, it can be the school you're going to, it can be the level of network you're building, it can be the level of knowledge you're trying to expand around with different peoples, it can be anything that you are doing that is in line with your dream pursuit in life. All those inputs put together multiplied by time will give you the level of success that you are worth. Okay, so it's very important for you to understand that timing has an effect on your success. Timing has an effect on your fruitfulness. Don't worry, we are going to digress further as we proceed on this video so you can be able to understand the major impact of timing on your fruitfulness, the major impact of timing on your success. The success of an individual is compared to a stone being thrown up high into the sky. Okay, the more the stone keeps on going up and time keeps moving, there comes a time when the stone will reach the maximum peak above which it cannot proceed going up, then it will start falling down. That is how an individual's success and fruitfulness is. Okay, whether you like it or not in life, there is a certain level of height that you cannot be able to exceed, and that is determined with how early you start pursuing your dreams in life. Just as the stone thrown up into the air is the level of height, the maximum height you can attain in life is determined by the level of time with which you start pursuing your dream. How early you start pursuing your dreams determine the level of height that you can maximally reach in your own lifetime when it comes to your fruitfulness and your own success. Let me give you two natural examples to illustrate to you the importance of timing and the importance of early development or early acquisition of skills. Okay, now if you look at an individual, for instance, let's say a person was giving birth to, let's say a child was giving birth to, and then that child wasn't able to get all the nourished nutrients or all the balanced diet that that child was supposed to get. Maybe the child was born into a poor family and then the child wasn't able to get all the necessary ingredients or all the necessary meals that is required for his own proper body development. And then let's say he kept on living in that kind of family and in that kind of condition for 10 years, 15 years, and then 20 years. There's a very high chances that that child is not going to grow tall, okay, because he lacks all the necessary nutrients that is required for his own proper growth and development. And then let's say the child now reaches the age of 25 and then 30, and then all of a sudden that child is moved into an environment or into a situation where he can be able to get all the necessary foods he needs, all the necessary balanced diet he needs, all the care and concern that he needs. There's 100% chance that that child is not going to grow beyond that height that he have attained, because your body system is wired in such a way that if it reaches certain level of time, if it reaches certain level of years, you know, it's not going to be able to develop again, because the body have a sign that once it reaches that time, then it is not going to grow again. Okay, so even if you are as short as half a meter, then you cannot be able to grow further again. Even if they're going to bring all the balanced diet in the world to you, even if they'll be bringing like a trailer full of food for you, even if they are going to be bringing proteins, carbohydrate, every morning, every 3 hours, they are feeding you with carbohydrate, protein, and all the balanced diets, you are not going to grow beyond that. Why? Because you were not able to get all the necessary ingredients since at your tender age, because you were not able to get that ingredient since at the age of 7, since at the age of 8, at the age of 9, until the number of years have reached where your DNA and your body system now tells itself that now you have reached a stage that you are now matured and you cannot be able to grow beyond that. That is the same thing that happens to a person's success. Okay, if you start pursuing your success at the age of 15, for instance, you start learning those skills, you start acquiring those knowledges, you start building yourself, you start building your network, you start building your strength, you know, your resilience, you start reaching out to your relationships, you know, you build relationship with influential people, you start building your business from scratch, starting from the age of 15, 16, 17, and then you keep building it. That is when you'll be able to have a very wide level of influence. That is when you'll be able to have a very strong sense of skill. That is when you'll be able to have a very wide knowledge. That is when you will keep on building yourself while you are still strong, while your brain is still fresh. You will keep on building it. By the time you reach the age of 30, 40, that is when everything will explode, and then the level at which your success is going to start flowering and then start bearing fruit is going to be so bountiful. And then on the contrary, if maybe you started your business maybe or your career at the age of 50, all those years from 15, 20, 30, you were not able to feed your mind, feed your developmental skills, you know, feed your relationship aspects, you know, feed the level of knowledge and skills you are supposed to acquire, but you failed to do that at the age of 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, up till you reach the age of 50 before you started developing those things. There are very high chances that the level of success that you are going to attain at that time is going to be very negligible, and then it is going to be nothing to write home about, because the level at which your success will respond to all those development, all those input you are putting into them is going to be very, 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 very negligible. Okay, it's just going to be like that child that just grew very little, and then until it reaches the age of 30 before he now started seeing balanced diet, and then that is how that child will not grow again. The same thing applies to your own dreams. If you fail to feed your dreams, if you fail to pursue your career, if you fail to develop yourself to become somebody that is going to be referred to in the history that this was a great person and this was the impact this person brought to our own world, if you fail to start building that on time, then you are going to be producing a very minimal fruit, because by then you might not have grown very wide in your knowledge, you might not have grown very wide in your skills, you might not have gotten so much influence, you know, with your relationship and things like that, and then the level of flowers you're going to be producing are just going to be few, because you have not been developed to a larger extent, and then the fruit you are going to be bearing is going to be very small as well. So that is the something that happens to your own dreams and vision in life if you fail to pursue them early in life. Let me give you another natural phenomenon that suggests the importance of timing to one's fruitfulness in life. Okay, now let me give you an example with beans, for instance. If beans is supposed to have a total lifespan of 4 weeks to produce and then to yield its fruits, then for instance you then plant that beans and then you start counting from week 1, and then you didn't give it fertilizer, you didn't water it adequately, and then that is how it will cross to week 2, and then that is how it will cross to week 3. The beans is not going to grow very well, and then it's not going to spread very well, and then before you know it, it will start producing flowers. And if that beans produce flowers, there are very high chances that that beans is only going to produce, let's say, 3 or 4 flowers, and then before you know it, it will now start producing seeds, and then it's just going to put up 3 or 4 seeds on it, and then before you know it, that is how that beans will finish its own life cycle with just 3 seeds. Okay, so and if you plant another beans on a different soil and then you give it adequate fertilizer, you give it water adequately, you keep watering it morning and evening, that is when you will see that beans growing and it will start spreading. It will cover all the entire ground within that space, and then it will give out a very greenish leaf, and then before you know it, that beans will produce more than 50 flowers, if not even more than 100. It will produce flowers on all the branches, and then that is when it will produce more than 100 seeds. Okay, the same thing happens to an individual. If you start growing, if you start feeding your own pursuit, your own career in life, if you start putting in your input, and when I say your input, it means that level of time you dedicate to studying materials, that level of time you dedicate to building relationships, that level of time you dedicate to learning, about the business you want to venture into, the level of time you give into building your skills, be it music, be it, any form of career you want to build in, the more you give it that ingredient, the more you put in that your input at the early stage in life, the more your skill will keep on growing, the more your understanding will keep on growing, the more your level of reach will keep on growing. By the time you will start producing fruit, by the time you will begin to get an output of the fruit of your labor, it is going to come out very bountifully, and then you will look at it and say, wow, this was something that I inputted significantly into, and now I am harvesting the output of this. And on the contrary, if you do just the way I illustrated on the first illustration of that beans, and then maybe you said you want to pursue, maybe you want to become a businessman, for instance, and then you reach the age of 20, and then you just look at yourself and say, okay, I am still young, and then that is when you reach 20, and then you look at yourself, I'm not done with my schooling, so you don't even read books, and then you reach 30, you just look at yourself and say, oh, I'm still young, I'm not even married, and then you reach the age of 40, 50, that is when you now say, okay, now I am serious enough, I have kids, let me now start studying for my own business, let me now start studying for this, let me start this business. There is 100% chance that the level of business you are going to be getting, the level of business you're going to be building is just going to have 3 or 4 flowers that will end up producing only 3 seeds for you. And what I mean by that is that it is going to be so negligible, so narrow to a level that is not going to be globally known that this person lived a life of legacy, this person lived a life of success, this person lived a life that is worthy of emulating. You are not going to get that certain level of result. Let me not be too nice to you to a level that I will hide the truth away from you. The reality is that the earlier you start pursuing your dreams, the higher the level of growth and success and fruits that you are going to produce. And at the same time, the more you keep delaying the pursuit of your dream, the more you keep on delaying starting your career, the more you keep on delaying giving it that ingredients, the more you keep narrowing the level of fruits that you are going to produce. Okay, but the more you keep on feeding yourself starting from an early age, starting from a tender age, that is when you will keep on spreading just the way that beans does. It will keep on spreading, your understanding will spread and cover all the area, your skills will keep on spreading and cover all the areas, the level of relationship will cover up and and spread and cover all the area, and then before you know it, when you start exploding, you will explode to a global scale. Okay, so it's very important for you to start pursuing your dreams the earliest you can. Now somebody may be saying, okay, I am now 30 and I've not started anything. I'm now 40, I've not started anything. Understand this thing. The earlier you start it, the better it is going to be for you. If you are 30 already, it is already past your 20s. You cannot go back and rewind the time and say you want to be in your 20s to start it. You can start it at the very age you discover this. You can start it the earliest you discover this, okay? If you are 40, you can start up. But let me not lie to you, the level of success you are going to get, you are not going to make it as when you had started it starting from the age of 20, okay? The level of success you could have attained when you had started at the age of 20, 30 will be different from when you start at 40, 50, okay? And at the same time, it is better you start now, because if you wait till the age of 50, then that is when the level of flowers, the level of fruits that you are going to produce will keep on reducing until it reduces to a very, very, very smaller level that you cannot even produce fruit again, okay? So the earlier you start pursuing your dreams, the better it is going to be for you. Please, I beg of you, if you are watching me on this video, if you have a dream, if you have been dreaming of something, if you are doing something that is not in line with your own dreams, it is more better for you to quit that thing and start pursuing your dreams the earliest you can. There's never an early time for you to start pursuing your dream. There's never a time that is too early for you to start pursuing your dreams. Even if you are 2 years old, if you know that there's something that you can be able to do, as long as you have discovered what you want to be doing with your own life, it is better for you to start it the earliest possible time, okay? So I believe this video have called your attention to understand the importance of timing to your fruitfulness in life. I believe this video have called your attention to understand the importance of you not delaying your pursuit of your own dreams, okay? Irrespective of what your excuse will be, the fact still remains that if you keep on delaying the pursuit of your own dream, you keep on reducing the number of flowers that you are going to produce, and consequently, you will keep on reducing the number of fruits or the level of fruits that you will produce. I believe this video was very helpful. If this is your first time on this YouTube channel, I will want you to click on the subscribe button below and turn on the notification bell so that when the next content comes up, you will be notified. And if you're a returning viewer, I would love to say thank you. Thank you for staying to the end of this video. See you again in another video. Bye.